That was James Harden's best performance as a Sixer and one of the best Sixer playoff performances I have ever seen. Unbelievable.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, and be sure to also hit that bell. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. We were live for this game. Shout out to everyone who was a part of the legendary live stream. We had over 3,300 people watching at the end as James Harden sealed the deal. The Sixers go out in an improbable fashion, what felt like such a weird game, and they go on the road in game one without Joel Embiid, and James Harden has an MVP-like performance. The Sixers get it done 119-115. This changes everything about this series. I want to break down how this game went, how James Harden really rose to the occasion, and also highlight some foolery that happened earlier today. We'll break all of it down, but before we get into this exciting win, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura is an easy-to-use app that includes everything you need to stay safe online by protecting you from scammers and hackers on the internet. They fight back against all those annoying websites that try to make your personal info public, and they alert you if any of your private info is found. They are the leading provider in digital safety and fraud protection. They've helped me out in multiple ways. For example, a couple weeks ago, somebody was trying to hack into one of my accounts, one of my cards, and Aura stepped in and put a stop to it. These are some of the things they try to do. You know, say you're opening a new car loan or, you know, a house loan, whatever it may be. They track your credit, they help you out, and they keep you safe, especially while scrolling on the internet. They even have real-time alerts and their own VPN where you can scroll anonymously online while protected. They even have a password manager where you can manage all your credentials in one spot. So take the next step in protecting your online safety today by signing up for Aura. Go to aura.com/PhillyTake to receive a 2-week free trial of all of their services. The link is down below in the description. All right, we need to talk about this miraculous game. This was one of the most electrifying performances I've seen. And James Harden is the man of the hour. There is no question. This guy right here, unbelievable performance. I'm still hyped up. I had his jersey on. I was repping it during the whole show. I was going nuts at the end. I barely have a voice. I barely have a mind. I don't know what to say. How did the Sixers win this game? The Celtics shot 75% in the first half. The Sixers couldn't stop a nosebleed. They couldn't do anything. Paul Reed was out of place. Nobody else was stepping up. Harden came out of the gate, had 12 points immediately. The game was neck and neck. I said, you had to keep this close. You had to keep this close. Then the Celtics start piling up in the second quarter. They go up 10-12. You're like, all right, it's starting to slip. No Joel Embiid. It's understood. Sixers go on a 10-0 run into halftime. Somehow, with as bad of a defensive half as they have played, they're only down 3. They keep it close. And one thing continues to pop up and reappear this season. I've said it over and over again. This Sixers team has one element that prior Sixer teams do not. They are tough in the fourth quarter. They are mentally tough. Doc Rivers talked about it after the game. He said, you know what? We got street fighters out here. You get us to the fourth quarter, we have a chance to win the game. That was not always the case in prior years. This was a gutsy win, again, on the road against Jason Tatum, who went off. How many points did he finish with? 39. 39 for Jason Tatum, 23 for Jaylen Brown, 20 for Brogdon off the bench, and you didn't have your anchor, Joel Embiid. You still win this game. Obviously, you had some advantages. You were able to play quicker, push the tempo, but this was just a gutsy performance. And speaking of Joel Embiid, he was hyped on the bench. Look at Joel, man. That is passion. That is hunger. He wants to be out there bad. You know, we'll see what happens next game. Obviously, Doc said before the game he wasn't running, so I don't know, but this changes everything. The goal was to split on the road. You got the first one done. Obviously, you want to win the second. If the Sixers can win game 2, this is looking really bright. But even if they don't and they can rest him, say they rest Embiid, maybe they do rest him now that they won game 1 and he's not 100%, right? You don't want to re-injure. Maybe he comes back in game 3, you know, a lot better and he's ready to go and it's 1-1 and you're in position to take advantage, right? This is crazy, man. I cannot believe they won this game with how weird it felt You know, the Sixers only turned the ball over 6 times in this game. And the Sixers didn't have a free throw attempt until 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. There were so many weird odds and ends about this game. But this team is tough. Paul Reed picks it up in the second half. He finishes with 13 rebounds, and he was gritty. Tyrese Maxey stepped up, had 26. Tobias with 18. Tucker didn't have any shots, but man, was he scrappy, diving on the floor, getting right in those Boston faces, and especially got scrappy. Tucker even gave Tatum a nut shot. It was a crazy game. Melton, 17 off the bench. Sixers have never had a guy off the bench in the playoffs go for 17 in the past couple years. They didn't have that element. You need these type of performances from these spark plugs sometimes, and Melton stepped up big. He was needed in this game. Sixers ran a 8-man rotation, and they got the job done. At one point, we're calling for Dedmon and Trez because of how bad Reed was playing. Man, he stepped it up big time in the second half. Celtics finally went a little bit cold. Again, they were shooting almost 80% in the first half, and the Sixers capitalized. They hung in there. What a game. But James Harden, man, I want to start off with this clip. I reposted it earlier today. I was talking about it on Twitter. Shout out to everyone following me on there at RB Philly Take. And we were discussing this. And then I reposted it after the game because Nick Friedel, and I don't even like to call people out like that, but Nick Friedel was running his mouth over here, calling out James Harden. This is ESPN coverage. They sat there for 2 minutes laughing at James Harden. Max was saying that, you know, he expected Harden to have a good game, a good series, because he's played good against the Celtics this year. And they had no facts or anything to back it up. They just laughed. Listen to this.
Matchup for the Sixers without Joel Embiid, point blank period. Like Maxey on down the line. I mean, James Harden, for as gaudy as the numbers might be, he's probably going to get dissected, we'll say, defensively, right? It's maybe a little bit. Max, what have you seen in the last few years that leads you to believe that James Harden is going to turn back the clock to a point where, well.
I can't hear any more of it, man. He literally went on for about 2 minutes just laughing like this. A Nets reporter who I guess has something against James Harden, but this is what they tell you on TV. Like, this is what they try to make you believe. Oh, it's so funny. How is Harden going to turn back the clock? Well, now look what happened. You fueled him. Here you go. 45 on your dome. Unbelievable, man. I mean, this was insane. James Harden matches his playoff career high. Look at this list of Sixers with 45-point games in the playoffs. It's an exclusive list, man. Wilt, AI, Billy Cunningham, Lee Schaefer. James Harden's on this list, man. Unbelievable game. To go on the road knowing you don't have Joel and knowing all year how you've played the pick and roll, right? Not really being the main guy, but being the secondary guy. And Harden had to revert to Houston Harden. I said it before the game, and he did just that. He was out there on an island. I guess the 8-9 days arrested him well. He's beating guys off the dribble, the little hesitation, the start and stop, and obviously the step back threes. And he was just on fire. I mean, he looked like Houston Harden tonight. I didn't know we could get this level of Houston Harden. I knew we could get a little taste, a little glimpse of Houston Harden, but this was different. This was MVP. And for all the people out there that have been on this show commenting for years, and I've been saying since last trade deadline, James Harden can do this. And this is why all year I've been saying, get a healthy Harden and Embiid to the playoffs. Obviously, Embiid's dealing with it, but if Harden is healthy like this, he can play any role you want him to. He can be facilitator. He can be floor general. He can turn into Houston Harden. He is a damn good player. You never doubt a 10-time All-Star, former MVP. Probably should have won 2 or 3 MVPs. Scoring champ. I mean, this guy can do it all, man. He really can, and this was insane. Here's the game winner, and it's even better over Al Horford. The guy that stole money from the Sixers, man. It just doesn't get better than this. Watch this, man. James Harden on the line. No timeout called. Boom. Boom. Game winner over you, Al Horford. How about Jaylen Brown flexing on Jalen McDaniels? Flex on that. They couldn't stop Harden if they tried. They got Al Horford on him. He got the switch. Boom. That was cold, man. Sixers go down. And by the way, James Harden made a huge defensive play after, or maybe it was before, to help win the game. They push it up to Maxey. Sixers made some big defensive plays late in this game. I said on the live show, that's what it would take. They had to make a couple big stops. They did. Great possession. Doc Rivers coached a great game yet again. Doc has been on fire. And this is what I really like most. James Harden after the game, right? Everybody's celebrating. He's saying, yo, go back to the locker room. It's just one game. This is a leader right here. This is a humble leader. He's still locked in. He was ready to go for 80 tonight. He could have kept going. He said, yo, it's one game. Let's go back. Let's lock in. And it's true. It's going to be a long series, but this was a big one. James Harden after the game says, we're coming in here to get game 2. Damn right. Damn right. James Harden, the way he disintegrated that Boston defense, and I've been saying for the last week now, Celtic fans don't want to believe me. Some Sixer fans don't want to believe me. The Celtics are not as good as you think they are. They're a good team. They're a respectable, very good team. Maybe better than the Sixers, who knows? But they're not superior to the rest. I saw it in that Atlanta series. I pointed out about 2 or 3 flaws, and they showed up in this game. The Celtics didn't play any damn defense, just like the Sixers didn't, but they didn't have their anchor down low. The Celtics just didn't play any defense. The Celtics didn't play any defense. They let Harden and Tobias, who had another great game, and Maxey, all of them just go right in. And they didn't switch well, and, you know, they didn't bring the doubles quick enough. Joe Mazzulla is not ready for the moment compared to, honestly, Doc Rivers. Like, Doc Rivers has outcoached Joe Mazzulla here in game 1. And based on the playoffs so far this year, it looks like Doc's had a better playoff so far. Sixers are the only undefeated team in the playoffs. I know they played the trash Nets, but they're 5-0. They're rolling. They're confident. They believe. They found the playoff rotation. Doc's sticking with the right rotations. I like the feel of this so far. The only question is, will Joel be healthy? Because as good as this game was, you're going to need your anchor healthy for an extended playoff run. It just is what it is. I did like, though, how the Sixers were playing at an accelerated pace, pushing in transition. The Celtics were early on, but the Sixers kept the pace up. They were moving the ball. It was very fluid. I like the style they were playing. It's definitely something they can experiment with. And one main reason of that was Paul Reed. He was moving all around, switching all around. Like I said, big second half from Paul Reed. And how about hitting 4 free throws with the game on the line? Guy that's not that good at shooting free throws. He was ice from the line. Ice in his veins, man. He said, I got you. He was ready for the moment. And after the game, Paul Reed, was talking to the media. He was saying, the guys were getting on me and they were all up on me, man. And I stepped up big time. Doc Rivers second that here. He says the players were lighting into Paul Reed after the late offensive rebounds. There were 2 on that one play. He was kind of standing around, just letting it go. And, the Celtics ended up taking the lead. But Doc on Paul Reed says, quote, the fact that was handled well, he took it and went out and got a big rebound and made the free throws, which iced the game, just speaks a lot about him. Doc is starting to believe in Paul Reed. We have turned a corner, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Reed is playing some big-time minutes. He might be the most consistent backup right now that Joel's had, not because he's the most dominant as a big man, but he can do the most, right? He goes up and gets those rebounds, and, he's versatile as a defender. And the entire Sixers team trusts in him, and the fan base loves him. I mean, this was a wild game. This was absolutely a wild game. The Sixers end up shooting 45% from 3 almost. The Celtics shoot 38%. Celtics shoot 59% from the field. Sixers 50%. I mean, look, man, the Celtics should have won this game. Like, they knew they needed this game. And now the entire tide flips. Now you're looking at the Sixers. Obviously, they want to win game 2, but if they don't, it's not like you're going down 2-0. It's not like it's the end of the world. You come back home for game 3, and obviously you want to go get that done. But, I mean, if they can win game 2 now, if they win game 2, I'm telling you, this is trending in the right direction. These playoffs have been nuts. What a win it was. I mean, just the energy, the late game. We're on the live show, and my heart is pumping. This is playoff basketball. And this Sixers team has a toughness, like I said, that I have not seen in prior years. They get games done in the fourth quarter. They've been one of the best fourth quarter teams in the league this year. So what a performance. Looking for them to build on this. Obviously, you want to come out playing better defense. You might not shoot this well every game. But with Joel Embiid sitting out, this was a big, big win. Let me know all your thoughts down below. What was your reaction to the Sixers stealing game 1 on the road in Boston? Give me all your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And like always, man, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.